Hello, my name is Andrew Peng. Welcome to another edition of CMS Forex News. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd, 2008. The Reserve Bank of Australia lowered rates to 7% from 7.25%, the first reduction in the benchmark interest rate in nearly 7 years. Governor Glenn Stevens says that demand is being restrained by tight financial conditions, higher fuel costs, and lower asset values. With inflation expected to cool, the bank now moves to shore up economic growth. The Aussie, which was already falling this week, slid 260 pips against the dollar in the aftermath of the release. That puts the pair at its lowest level all year. With more cuts expected in the near future, the Aussie is likely to be pressured for the rest of 2008. Consumer prices in Switzerland declined for the month of August, decreasing 0.3%. That resulted in an annual rate of 2.9%, which brings the index back to its levels in May and June compared to July's 3.1%. It may be a sign that, just like other economies, inflation may have peaked over the summer, though there needs to be more data to confirm that. The Swiss economy grew by 0.4% in the second quarter, slightly above expectations. The better-than-expected quarterly growth was driven by household spending and foreign trade. However, the annualized rate was only up 2.3%, lower than forecast. Despite the better-than-expected Swiss GDP, the US dollar gained about 100 pips against the Swiss franc, as lower inflation means the pressure on the Swiss National Bank to raise rates has eased. Activity in the UK construction sector contracted for a sixth month in August, though the 40.5 reading was an improvement on the last 2 months. The figure also beat forecasts, which had the PMI dropping to a new series low at 36. Despite the better-than-expected result, the pound has been in a free fall against the dollar, hitting a low of 1.7785 prior to the New York Open. That's close to a 500 pip drop from the pair's high last Friday. The pound also fell heavily against the yen, though most of those losses were concentrated in the previous session. Since Friday's open around 200.25, the pair slid almost 750 pips to test support near 192.60 last evening. The pound managed to recover somewhat in overnight and New York trading. The Bank of England meets on Thursday. In the Eurozone, producer prices continued to increase in July, with the monthly rate up 1.1% and the annual rate hitting a new record at 9%. Both figures were slightly below expectations. The ECB hopes that July marks the peak of inflation and that August will show lower readings. The ECB will most likely stay put at 4.25% when it decides on rates Thursday morning. The euro-dollar slid 100 pips overnight to a fresh 6-month low. The PMI release stopped the fall, and the pair consolidated around the 1.45 after that. The euro got a little boost following the U.S. releases at around 10 a.m. Eastern. In the U.S., ISM manufacturing indicated a slight decline in manufacturing during August, measuring 49.9, which matched expectations. The report showed the first signs of lower prices as the price index fell significantly, though it still remains at an inflationary level. Construction spending fell 0.6% in July, more than expected, as the housing slump continues. It's the largest decline since February. In a bit of good news from the release, though, June's figure was revised up to show a 0.3% increase compared to the originally stated 0.4% decline. Tonight, the UK releases data on consumer confidence, while Australia posted services PMI and GDP for the second quarter. Overnight, we get services PMI from the UK and the Eurozone. The UK also posts its BRC shop price index. Continuing overnight, the Eurozone has 2 more releases, retail sales and its revised version of GDP. The UK will release a measure of housing prices. Tomorrow, the Bank of Canada will conclude its meeting and decide on rates. The US, meanwhile, posts factory orders. And that wraps it up for the day in Forex News. Tune in tomorrow right here at cmsfx.com.